Hello again. Welcome back for our next story in our Sound House relationship checkup for Valentine's Day 2021. As by now you can tell, I'm filming multiple videos on each day, but I figure that's just working smart, right? Okay, so we have done trust and commitment pillars, love maps, how well you're knowing your partner, each other, fondness and admiration. And then yesterday was turning towards and making bids. Today we're going to talk about positive perspective. So the checkup for this is I want you to really think about where you are and how you think of your partner. So over time, again, most of these things are like over the time continuum of the relationship. We either continue to see our partner in a positive way, or sometimes we start to see them in a negative way. And so this is called positive sentiment override or negative sentiment override. And what that means is someone who's maybe in a positive sentiment override is, even if their partner gives them a neutral or maybe even a negative sentiment, they can take it and understand where the partner is coming from. Maybe they take it as like, oh, well, they're just giving me feedback, or kind of taking it for what it is instead of maybe over personalizing it or having a negative reaction. Negative sentiment override is where you really see your partner as more of an adversary than a friend. So that's obviously not a good place. That would be where you could take even a positive message from your partner and you'll find a way to turn it negative. I have props today. So I brought a couple of different glasses. So these are my blue blockers or blue filter, whatever, right? So when I'm on the computer a lot, I might put those on. So that's one kind of glasses. Then I have this pair of readers that are way too strong, but I thought they were cute, so I got them. But I want you to think about the lens through which you are seeing your partner, right? So this, even though they just look like glasses, is a different lens than this, right? And then, of course, I have another pair that helps me with distance or whatever. I have lots of pairs. Let's not talk about that. My point is, I think over time, we tend to kind of stick to a certain lens that we look at our partner with. And it can get difficult to change that lens. And what I often find myself telling couples is, even if one partner is making bids, they're really trying to make changes, the other partner may not always see it, and they tend to, again, to have that negative sentiment override, and they're still looking through a negative lens, even though, yes, the partner is doing these things. So sometimes we have to encourage our partner to see our efforts. And so, I kind of talk with my partners about, sometimes we do have to draw a line in the sand and talk about, like, we're not going to talk about the past anymore. And then sometimes we get to like drawing a line in concrete. But when we are in the middle of making some new changes and trying to change some of our behaviors, we often have to, it helps to remind ourselves, but also our partner, to just point out what some of those are. Because if you have 5, 10, 15, 30 years of not these good positive changes built up, sometimes it's really hard to notice these new bids and these new behaviors, right? It's really hard to take off this pair of glasses, these lenses that you've been looking through. But that's why the positive perspective in the Sound House is so important. Really, if I have a couple that comes in and they, let's say one person is positive and one person's negative, unless that other person is willing to take off the lenses and to really try and give credit where it's due with a change in behavior from their partner, it is really tough. If both people are in negative sentiment override, it's tough, right? And so I want you to think about, what kind of lens are you seeing your partner through? Are you stuck in like, they're just the same, they're never going to change? Do you maybe take some of their bids or some of their positive statements and make them negative? If so, I want you to try and consider changing the lens, right? Switch out your glasses, take off your readers, put on your distance glasses, your regular glasses in my world. And I want you to actually look for the positive things, okay? Now, this can be hard. And so I often also recommend that couples have a night, a day, some point during the week, 30 minutes or so, where they sit down. This isn't Gottman, by the way. This part is me. And just talk to each other about how the week went. Hopefully in real time, you're having positive reinforcement and you're encouraging each other about changes you're recognizing. But sometimes life happens, right? Like you're in the middle of talking about something great happened and the kid overflows the toilet, or, right? Like life happened, the phone rings, an emergency at work, whatever. So that's your chance to sit down. I call them Sunday talks, but you can do it any day of the week that works for you. And review the week. Honey, I really loved it when you did this. Or I just want you to know I noticed and it meant a lot to me. That helps reinforce your partner to continue the behaviors that you're liking that they're doing. It's also a chance for you to say, you know what? I think you made a bid and I didn't receive it, and I want to apologize. I'm so sorry. I just didn't notice at the time, or maybe I did notice and I was mad at you, but I'm going to try and do better. Okay. So I want you to think about if you need to have that meeting every week. Again, it's not a long drawn out thing. It's 15, 30 minutes, depending on what your week is like. But what lens do you see your partner through? Mostly positive or mostly negative? All right, so that is positive perspective. I can't even count what floor we're on. 1, 2, 3. That's the fourth story of the Sound Relationship House. That is your homework assignment, is to check in and see what kind of lens, and do you need to change out your lenses. And then tomorrow is going to be a long one. We're going to do managing conflict. So this is where we're going to go over the 4 horsemen and some other things. If you look on the house, there's 3 other things written out. So a lot of information, but luckily you can go back and rewatch these whenever you want. Thank you guys so much for checking in on these. If you're starting to wonder if you and your partner need couples counseling, feel free to give me a call, reach out. I would love to help you. If it's not me, I can direct you to someone else that can help you. But I will tell you, the Gottmans have found that people start marriage counseling 6 years too late. Not sure why that is. I think it's because it's hard. I think it's because, it means that you have to work. It means you have to admit to things that aren't always lovely and pretty. Maybe it's getting the partner in there with you. I will tell you, even if your partner doesn't want to come, there are so many things that you can do to work on the relationship that will help. So don't hesitate, even if you're like, I hope it's couples counseling, but I've had plenty of people come in and start on their own, and then the partner was able to join us later. So just hang in there. Keep doing this checkup. I promise you'll have a better idea of where your relationship is at the end of this. But again, if you need help, y'all know how to find me. I'm really easy. Reach out. Or again, my cell phone, if you want to text or call, is 412-550-0222. Or you can email me, Sydney@well-counseling.com. I would love to hear from you. And I hope y'all are hanging in there with all this. Okay? Thanks.